What's up, everyone?
What's in one?
Love our sports podcast. The New York Football Giants. Love that.
Let's do it right now. Rich, this is an official challenge. The hot chip challenge. Cameron, actually read that little, I believe someone sent you a blurb earlier to challenge me.
Yes.
I think this is the official way to do it.
It was from Rich. Rich sent it in, and it says, please read to Sean. It says, 1, 2, Sean, the chip is coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, no need for a crucifix. 7, 8, you gonna have a stomach ache. 9, 10, you better buy milk again.
Was that from Timmy Whalen?
That was from Rich.
Oh, was it? No, yeah, he can't challenge and then not accept it. He's got to come back.
No, Rich said that to Sean.
I know. I'm saying he can't challenge and not accept Sean's challenge back.
Yeah,
yeah. I got you.
And I will take that exact haiku poem from Rich and challenge him to this chip challenge.
Do you want to slam poetry him? Do you want to slam?
Yeah, I might have to. Maybe I might have to make a separate video and send it to him personally. Maybe we'll send it in the fantasy group.
There you go. Let people know.
The game is on.
The game is on. But what's up, everybody? This is episode number 19 of 4th and 1, a sports podcast.
We're legal.
Is presented to you by Why Am I a Nerd Podcast Network, where everyone is a nerd about something. My name is Sean Farrell, and sitting opposite of me is the golden voice of podcasting, Matt Ferreira. Filling in for Ant the Stat Man is Cam the Chip Man, still struggling. Stomach bubbling. Something is troubling. He is back on the episode, probably mainly to talk shit about LeBron James, who we're not even talking. Actually, we will mention.
We are.
He's on here. I have a new nickname every show. I feel like I'm Miami Cam, or Chipman Cam,
the Ring of Fire. That's probably what you're gonna be called after tonight.
The Toilet Destroyer.
Bat Cam, dude. Fuck my toilet. Dude, the best of my. I have one of those automatic toilets, and
Whoa! What
like a public restroom?
No, it's like the thing where you show your head. It's funny.
Yeah, so it's when you're in front of it, it goes.
No, yeah, you wipe, but apparently it doesn't work.
You have a bidet?
No, dude, that would probably burn my ass right now if I had that. And
it would probably be the best thing for you. Yeah, I feel like that would be the best answer.
I'm actually not on the screen either, so no any idea what motions I'm making. There's a human voice.
I was wondering, you did not do your hair tonight.
In Visicam.
No, I didn't know.
Miami Cam and Visicam.
Dude, it hit me. I was literally sitting in my fucking truck today in my lovely therapy session, and I was like, Doc, I did the 1 chip challenge, man. I might have to cut this session early.
I'm not gonna lie. I texted Cameron. I apologize if this gets graphic for our viewers. I texted Cameron. I called him. And I was like, bro, I stopped to get food, and it hit me right in the middle of the food line. I was like, I'm not gonna make it through this takeout line. I was like, I just need to get home. And then I was behind the slowest car in America, and I was like, this is it, man. This is how I'm gonna go down. This is how my life ends. Doo-doo pants on the side of the road. I can't have it end like this.
And then you text me a photo of you on the toilet.
Dude, I was dying. That was a private moment, first of all. That was a private moment.
He shared that with you in confidence.
Yeah.
Not anymore. The world knows me.
But it was literally, it was only my face, but it was me just in pain, sweating. This was one of the worst experiences I've ever had.
Bro, I've had an excruciating headache too after I fucking recently, between my head and my fucking.
Have you been drinking water?
No.
Why wouldn't you? You're probably dehydrated as fuck.
Flush the system out. I'd like to go back to your episode of Yo, What Up Comics where, and I quote, "We are some bad motherfuckers." But what they don't know is after the episode, you guys have complained about this for how many hours? This is 24 hours now.
Listen, we did it though. We knew the consequences of the act. I think the first thing I say in the video, once I find out what's happening, is our poor buttholes. So I did call it off the bat that we were going to be in some type of shit. No pun intended.
We're also lactose, the two of us.
Right, and you guys went on an eating spree of ice cream, milkshakes, milk, What else you got?
Milk in all forms.
You went Taco Bell.
If there was a cow in the backyard, I would have raw dogged the teat. Like, I would have been all up under those udders doing whatever I needed to prevent this from spreading. It's like when you have like an infection in the wound and you got to just chop the limb off. I was trying to kill all the spice.
Miami Cam told me he actually took a bath in milk. He filled his whole bath up with heavy cream and whole milk.
It's so funny because I could just picture that being something Cam would do. Be like, Steph, go to the store, get all the heavy cream. Just puts ice and cold water to get the tub ready. Just dumps it all and just slowly lowers himself in a Batman cowl.
I said to Sean, I think a big thing that helped us out was we were moving around.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't just sitting there like, this is fucking brutal. Like
if we were just in a restaurant in like hard metal chairs just dying, I think that would have been
the house got hot.
Us.
I don't know if the house got
crazy hot.
I was yeah. Okay.
No, if I didn't go outside, I was going to throw up. Like, I was in a dangerous place at that point.
And it's like 5 seconds. The best was I'm like, yo, Rich, how long we've been? He's like, you have 4 minutes left. Then like, what seemed like 3 minutes later, I was like, dude, we're almost done, right? He's like
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Like, I'm over it. Like, this
what are we putting bets that Rich is going to at least make it 5 minutes?
No.
No, he's not.
You don't think so?
Beat your record? Did you guys actually time it or no?
Yeah, we had a timer set.
Is exact 5 minutes or no?
Oh yeah. We weren't going past that.
No, and I wouldn't wish anybody to go past that. Like 5 minutes is plenty.
You know, it's funny you should say that because I'm going to go ahead and call him out right now. Sean, the Fins dude, said if he was in the challenge, he would have done on principle 10 minutes just so he beat everybody else.
He would have doubled your time.
He said he would have doubled it just on principle. So I'm going to go ahead and call him out and say, Sean, I'm challenging you directly. I'm not going to do this challenge, but you should do it with the other ones. If you can do it for 6 minutes, then I will concede that you're more badass than me.
Bro, we could have done it for 6 minutes. Don't do that because I won't concede to that. No fucking way.
All right, 7 minutes? Because I'm not doing it against him. If I'm not going to challenge him directly, I can't make him do a full 10.
We could have lasted 10 minutes.
I don't know. Oh wow! Siri just heard everything I was saying and just tried to record all that.
We could.
If I know anything, this chip segment is almost over 10 minutes. I can text.
You're at 8 minutes and 30 seconds right now.
All right, so get all your chip talk in now, because on this episode of 4th and 1, we are about to talk the World Series, the NBA champs, the NFL, our fantasy football do's and don'ts from this past year's draft and this season. And to end the episode, we are bringing it after a long season of wrongful predictions. We actually made some correct ones the last couple weeks. So, what have you been up to other than the chip challenge, Matt? Anything good?
So my fantasy team is in shambles since the unfortunate early demise of my dear Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. My team in my big league has been struggling, and I'm entertaining a trade from none other than the Fins dude, because Tua Tagovailoa just got activated. He's going to be the number 1 there in Miami, and he's sitting on my bench. So we're trying to orchestrate a trade wherein I can get an RB2 in Melvin Gordon, and he can get his star quarterback.
Vetoing that. So, fuck that.
I mean, this is in a different league.
But he's still vetoing.
Immediately. I'm vetoing that. For what reason?
Text everyone in that league and let them know that Miami Cam is vetoing the trade. He doesn't care about our rules. He only wants to ruin other leagues now. He's going after all of them as a whole. Fantasy rules are going to change for the better.
Just the Cameron James era of fantasy
There's
rules.
going to be like standard scoring, half PPR, and then just Miami Cam.
Yeah. It's
whatever he decides for
the CMS or the MCS. Wow, I said that backwards.
I should make the rules next year.
We will discuss them at the Fantasy Summit.
Facts. There will be beer. There will be burgers.
There will be the 1 chip challenge.
Oh man, there will probably be a challenge there. I mean, we should probably actually when we do our maybe we can get together for our losers draft, the punishment draft. Do a little fantasy summit and talk about the next league and what we want to do. Make some rules up there. That way, we could have the winners, the guys that finished in the top 6, and kind of go over that way. So there's going to be a little good and bad for everybody. Now,
Interesting.
Looks like Matthew will be competing in that punishment draft at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'm definitely not having a great time. We're gonna see how this goes.
But you brought up Tua before, and I guess I missed that today. But what do you think about him becoming the starter and Fitzpatrick? The Dolphins are leading the division, I believe, right?
Oh, they're one game behind. They're I think 3-3, and the Bills are like 3-2. I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think the Dolphins.
It might be 4-1. Actually, 4-2. There's something. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
You're good. I just think it's crazy. I mean, Fitzpatrick's been having a good season, and I thought Cameron and I were discussing this before he came on. I thought they pulled him in that Jets game just because they were crushing them.
Yeah, I think so. I guess they were happy with what they saw because he hasn't seen any game action since his injury at Alabama. So I guess this was kind of his test run. And, there was, a pretty cool moment where after the game, he FaceTimed his parents and went back on the field to the exact moment where he started just to kind of take it in. I'm like, that was kind of cool. Like, it just makes me like Tua as a person. So I hope he's doing well.
He's a guy that, he's easy to root for coming off a major injury. High draft pick, but you don't want to see a guy like Fitzpatrick. This is Fitzpatrick's career. This has happened to him his whole entire career. It's crazy.
I do think Fitzpatrick knew it was coming, though. Like, I don't think he's shocked by this by any means. Like, he knew he was kind of prepping the team and holding the keys to the car, until Tua was of age to drive. It was kind of the way I was looking at it. I think Fitzpatrick was looking at it that way, too. He's like, listen, I'm getting paid. I get to have fun. I'm a starting quarterback for a short time. And after that, I get paid to be a backup. Like, I think he's 38 years old?
Let's see here. I believe he's been in the league 16
I think he's 37.
Years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, I don't know. Let's see his birthday. Well, he's been in the league for 16 years. So, he's getting up there. It's what he's done. He's moved around different teams, filled in here, filled in there. So, do you think this is the end of Ryan Fitzpatrick?
He's 37.
More than likely. I don't think he goes to another team after Miami. So that doesn't mean he retires immediately. I could see the Miami's coaching staff being happy with him and keeping him on as a backup, for a certain amount of time because they released Josh Rosen, if I'm not mistaken, right? Can you look that up, StatCam?
Yeah, StatCam.
StatCam.
Go to the StatCam. I don't know. Once you go with Tua, this is it. Like, you're not. You're
not going back.
There's no looking back to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just blowing up people's fantasy rosters for Superflex.
Yeah.
Everyone's scrambling now on the waiver wire tonight, seeing who's available.
Rosen plays for the Bucks.
Yeah.
He's on the practice. He's on the practice squad.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Look, with the success that you have, Burrow's having in, Cincinnati, and he doesn't have a great record, but he showed like he can play.
Yeah, he showed skills. He showed improvement over the position previously. And while we're talking about that, Andy Dalton looked like shit. And I'm so upset about it because I spent the last of my waiver money on him in my big league to pick him up in the hopes that I could trade him. And now I've got to wait until he does something. So the two players to have fucked me, there's three players that have fucked me as hard as they could this year. And in descending order, it is Carlos Hyde, because I picked him up on waivers too. Who did I just bring up?
Andy Dalton.
Because I'm thinking number one. Sorry, thank you. Andy Dalton, second in line, because fuck you, just play better. There's a shitload of weapons there. But number one, from that piece of shit college, Michael fucking Thomas. Fuck Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas is probably one that's going to hear this and try and fight me because that's apparently all he does because he's a big Twitter badass. But shut the fuck up. Get the fuck back on the field and score me some goddamn points, you goddamn Buckeye piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Ohio State.
Okay, hold on. For our viewers and listeners, since Miami Cam's birthday, there's been a revelation, and I think we need to talk about it because I never got an explanation.
That is true.
It was little comments here and there. Go Wolverines. Go this and that. Fuck
drunk.
the Buckeyes. And unless he's drunk now, he's booing Ohio State. So what is going on with your fandom of Ohio State, and where does it stand right now? We need to know.
So after Batman himself, the GOAT, Kevin Conroy, gave me a shout out for my birthday, I realized that sometimes in life you actually have to listen to your mentor and say, you know what? You got that wrong! Buckeyes for life, bitch! What's up, motherfuckers? Go Ohio State! Woo!
So you're no longer going to wear any of your Notre Dame stuff. You're denouncing Notre Dame permanently. You can never go back after this moment.
I never said anything about Notre Dame.
What do you mean? You can't have 2 college teams. You're out of your mind.
Who's going to have a top team? He's probably going to be a Clemson fan by the end of the season. I mean,
Fuck Clemson. Clemson's a bunch of bums.
We're getting expert sports opinion here on 4th and 1.
Real talk, Matt. I only do it because I love you, buddy. It's only out of the goodness of
It's all good. It's all good, homie.
Yeah.
I wish on the video for the chip challenge you did drop like Ohio State Buckeyes while Matt was consuming the chip. I just would love to see.
Oh my God, I might have died. He might have put my whole life at risk.
I was shaking too much.
I mean, you did kind of have me by the balls there, because you could have been like, if you'd last for less than 10 minutes, you're a Buckeyes fan. I'd be like, shit.
Bro, you wanted to quit after 2 minutes.
You did too.
No, I didn't.
I looked at your face,
it's
and you looked like you just got fucking maced. You had the tears rolling down. There was more sweat than a whore in church in the Sahara Desert.
On you were sweating.
On both of us, we were both sweating. But then I looked at you and I was like, this guy needs to tap out. Like, we both need to tap out. This is not healthy.
Wasn't giving up. Batman doesn't give up.
Okay.
We're going to continue with some sports news, but since this is a sports podcast and there is video evidence of this, they can check out the instant replay. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find that video?
I will, in fact, and I'm going to do that right now because my phone's loaded again. You can find us on Instagram at Why Am I a Nerd Official. That's WHY, the letter A, the letter M, the letter I, A Nerd Official, on Facebook and YouTube at Why Am I a Nerd? That's spelled the exact same way, exactly the way you'd write it normally. Please like, rate, and review us wherever you enjoy your listening or watching. We're there. Come find us and like us and subscribe to us, please.
Look out on the Instagram later for who got hit by the chip more, where I will screenshot each of their faces from the video.
Ooh.
And the fans can tell us their expert opinions on.
We'll put it on the gram to vote. I love it.
Yeah. So we want to know. We want to know here on 4th and 1 about the Lakers, who are now the champions of the NBA from the bubble playoff push. What's your opinion? Honestly, I wasn't as into this NBA playoff run as I could have been.
Super into it, but it did live up to my prediction. I'm pretty sure I said it on here, was Lakers in 4. I predicted 2 wins for Miami, and that's pretty much the way it worked out. So I'm obviously a fan that LeBron won. It wasn't his most dominant series, but he is who he is, and people want to keep hating, keep comparing. Oh, he didn't take this shot in this game, so he's not as good as Jordan. If you're going to say this whole argument comes down to one shot and not this man's entire career, you haven't been paying attention. Like, he's been one of the best for the longest. He's gone to 8 straight finals and 9 total, I think.
Yeah, it's something crazy. Yeah, it's
something
crazy.
Ridiculous. It's borderline unheard of. You know what I mean? And the one year he missed the finals was because he was injured. So don't sit here and tell me that just because you made the finals and didn't win, it doesn't count, because that's a bullshit argument. That means he's played per capita more games than anybody else in the last 10 years, and he's gone further every single time. You can't take anything away from this man.
Yeah, I mean, he does it all the time. He's, it's one of those guys you start, people don't like in the beginning. It's like the Tom Brady the Tom Brady syndrome, where people hate Tom Brady, but then the guy wins so much, you have to just like respect what they're doing. It's
exactly.
it's
Which
unreal.
actually, I'm curious, Kim, what's the Bucks record right now?
The Buckeyes?
The Buccaneers.
Oh. Give me a
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
Well, I didn't know. Let's see.
Wouldn't that be something if Tom Brady played for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
He would never do that because he's a true blue Wolverine.
They're 4-2.
They're 4-2. Okay, so their record's actually a little bit better than I thought.
They just smacked the Green Bay Packers around too, which was
they really did.
Which was unreal. I don't know if the Packers haven't played anybody or, Cameron said this earlier today. Tom Brady messed up on that one play, thought it was third down. It was actually fourth down. They lose the game. It was kind of like a redemption game where he came in and just,
which he is good for. Like that is a Tom Brady ass thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, but do you think real fast? Do you think he really didn't know, or do you think he was just playing stupid because he looked like a dumbass?
No, I think he honestly thought it was third down for whatever reason. I mean, You think how many crunch time scenarios there are, and these guys like nail it right every time. They know exactly what's going on. Someone's going to slip up eventually, and if it's him, everyone's going to jump right on it. I'm sure it's happened in the past. But you're only going to hear about it because it's Tom Brady. He throws up the four fingers. I think he sent something to LeBron James with like LeBron's head on his body or something with the four fingers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
So LeBron James, another NBA championship. Do they open up next season as the favorites?
They have to. I can't picture someone winning the league and not being the favorite the next year.
Right, like you said, they've 9 finals. They're in it every year.
Yeah.
How can you pick against them at this point?
Exactly. You've got to.
The World Series is kicking off.
Can we clap for the Astros being out?
Yes.
Fuck them.
I did see something though. It was like this would be the most 2020
ever.
Yeah, if they won the World Series. Like
I'd be so fucking angry though. Like I'd be so goddamn mad.
Yeah, it was hard. The Yankees lost to the Rays, and then the Rays get to play the Astros. So I didn't really want to root for either team, but if I had to root for one team, I guess the Rays pulled it out, beat them. Facing the Dodgers in the World Series. Are you going to be watching any of the games, Matt, or are you done with baseball for the year?
Baseball's, hurt me a few times. I'll probably catch a couple of the games. I mean, I like playoff anything. So right. I'll probably check out a few of the games. I am very excited, though, speaking of games I'm going to catch. NCAA football's back this week, and I can't fucking wait for that.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, change the subject there.
No, you're good. You're good. That's good. I mean, the World Series. We'll see what happens. I think the Dodgers are gonna. I mean, it's hard to pick against the Rays because they have such a weird cast of characters that.
Yeah.
And then you have the Dodgers who have all the powerhouse names, the big names, the big contracts. So I think the Dodgers are going to take it. It'll be good for them. They have not won in a while. Shout out to Snacks McGuigan, a resident Dodgers fan who actually was formerly a Mets fan. Tilly moved.
Wow, he betrayed us.
Yeah, Tilly moved to California. The news is out, Pat. All the haters, send him some messages.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I will give a shout out to Snacks for calling out whatchamacallit. Someone, who was it? Jamal Adams said that DK Metcalf is the new age Megatron. I was like, that's bullshit, and I hate it. And he was like, he asked me, he's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, I absolutely hate it. It's bullshit. It's just wrong. Just wrong.
It's the guy's second year, and he's played 5 games into the second year. I mean, come on. You can't give him that kind of name anyway. And
on top of that, like, who's Jamal Adams to say that? Like, I'm sorry, did you play the GOAT? No, you didn't, because you would have gotten burned. Gotta love Megatron.
Gotta love Megatron. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good World Series. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I think the Dodgers are going to take it. Do you have any predictions?
I would kind of like to see the Dodgers do it too. Not even going to lie, just because they've been so close so many times. I have a couple friends who are Dodger fans. I'd like to see them happy. Their hats are cool. Like, I'm going to give it to someone. I'd rather just see the Dodgers do it. I feel like that's better for baseball overall. But
I'm a Devil Rays fan.
What?
I'm a Devil Rays fan.
Since when?
Since they became the Devil Rays.
Just because devil's in the name?
I thought the name was cool.
Well, they dropped that. They dropped that part of the name.
Yeah, so now I'm not a fan.
The opposite of what you just said. The exact opposite of what you just said.
I heard Miami Cam there, former Devil Rays fan, talk about your beer that you were drinking. What are you drinking tonight, Matt?
Oh, I've got it's not a beer. It's Crooks and Marker organic super grain alcohol, and this one is raspberry lemonade. It's one of the last remnants of summer that was at my liquor store, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to be happy, and summer makes me happy.
Betraying the October Pumpkin Boys Pumpkin Beer Alliance with the summer drink. I'm actually drinking
Sorry to do it.
The red tank here. It's
Ooh.
1810 Marzen Oktoberfest. It is delicious. Shout out to Red Tank Brewing for making another great beer.
Red Tank friend of the show.
Drink? What's the
My
other drink? Is that apple cider?
Yes, it is. I was going to talk about this before, but you know what? I didn't want to get another food tangent, but do you guys like apple cider?
I do, actually.
I have a new liking for it, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Delicious Orchards, actually. They have apple cider slushies.
Delicious. What?
No, they have something else, too. They have an apple cider ice cream slushie, too, now.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's what
Shout out to Delicious Orchards. This needs to be the next Opinions Are for Assholes. Who can eat a Delicious Orchards pie the fastest?
I was going to go with who can eat a 6-pack of apple cider donuts the fastest. But
I got a better one. Who can eat 2 chips?
One podcast host.
No, that's good. I'm not going back on the Ring of Fire. That was the last time. It felt like I literally did squats into an active volcano. I am not doing that again unless someone's life is in danger. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
So is this one of the do's and don'ts of us not to do in fantasy football?
That's the do's and don'ts of Opinions Are for Assholes. Never eat 2 chips.
Yeah, don't eat 2 chips.
And I guess no one's ever going to watch us like enjoy food. Like Matt suggests eating a whole pie, and Cameron's like, "Fuck that, 2 chips."
Immediately, no hesitation, no second guessing. Just like, this is what has to happen.
Oh man, whatever.
Apple cider, hot or cold? What would you prefer?
Depends. Is there liquor in it?
I mean, if I'm making hot apple cider, I'm putting something in it.
That's exactly where I'm at. Whereas if it's cold, I don't really need anything. It's like spicy apple juice. You know, I'm good with it.
The hot toddy from fucking Blue Grotto is fucking awesome. They make it with apples. They make it with hot apple cider. It's so good. It's
I don't want to say, hey, on the next Opinions Are Assholes, hot toddies, because Cameron's gonna be like 3 chips.
A chip, a death nut, and a death bear.
He's gonna be like, "They're sitting, but in the hot toddy. You gotta drink it out of the hot toddy." I'm like, "All right, bro. Like, let's chill on this."
Well, apparently we're getting called out to do the spicy ramen challenge, whatever the fuck that is. So
I don't want to do that to ramen. I love ramen.
I like Doritos, but shit hit the fan.
Well, stay tuned for my hot chip challenge on the next Opinions Are for Assholes. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to Ant, who will be joining me.
That's right. The stat man.
Video. 3 Musketeers who didn't get to endure it originally. So we'll see what happens. Probably going to put it on the don't list after I take it. But
oh yeah,
let's talk about some of our do's and don'ts of this fantasy football season. Particularly, I know Matt, you've mentioned one multiple times that you never take a wide receiver in the first round.
Yep.
You did it this year.
Instant regret. Instant regret. I should have taken Josh Jacobs. I hate myself for not doing it. Should have done it. And now I'm sitting here stuck with this motherfucker, Michael Thomas.
I'll trade you.
Who has done more.
I'll trade you Antonio Brown. Now. Antonio Brown.
If you trade me Antonio Brown, I'm going to come over. I'm going to force 5 chips down your mouth. If you say Antonio Brown, Cam, I will go get my car keys right now.
I'll trade you Mr. Brown. I didn't say it.
You better be talking about fucking Malcolm.
No,
if you're not talking about Malcolm Brown, we've got a serious issue. Fucking Antonio Brown.
Check his roster. See if he has Malcolm Brown. Because
He's better. You better pick him up right now because I'm opening it up. You better hope there's another Brown on that team. Here we go. You better fucking hope.
Oh man.
Speaking of shout out, I got my first win this week against the Statman. Thank you for taking one for the team because my God.
I was wondering why he didn't show up tonight. I think that's probably
it. Could be a shame.
Shame. Yeah, I took 2 quarterbacks early. I was cruising along this season. Everything was going great. The Statman's Dak Prescott goes down with a brutal injury, which we will talk about later in our Giants segment. But it's kind of derailed my team because I have up-and-comer. Everyone's talking Baker Mayfield. I have him on the bench. I plug him in this week. The guy gets benched in the second or third.
Oof.
So if you don't have those quarterbacks, shout out to Rich who didn't find out the rules before 10 minutes before the draft, who did not draft multiple quarterbacks, I don't think. Or Cameron that drafted instead of multiple quarterbacks, Mr. Brown. That's kind of where I'm at now. Injuries kind of derailed a lot of teams. And I have a deep team, but I don't know. I have Lamar Jackson. I knew he wasn't going to repeat what he did last year. I took him early. I had options on the board where I could have took a stud running back. So do I regret taking Lamar Jackson? Yeah, I should have took somebody else and filled in quarterback afterwards. I still could have landed Dak and another solid choice, maybe one of these rookies.
If he hadn't got,
It's hard to say. It's tough to look back and say I could have done this, I could have done this. But how it's playing out, there's teams in worse positions than I am.
Very true.
Miami Cam, where's your team standing at right now?
I think he's in second place.
I'm tied for first.
Wow.
You're tied for first.
Well, I will tell you.
I think I am.
Vito should be a do in fantasy football because some of the trades that Miami Cam's pulling off over there.
I'm the only one trading.
Crazy.
Pulls in Julio Jones for Brandon Cook.
Yeah, but I also got Le'Veon Bell and who was the other guy I got on my team from that? I don't know whoever Javaris Landry is. He didn't do a goddamn thing, that bum.
Everyone's a bum.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I mean the Browns looked like shit this weekend, and no.
Julio, I thought the Julio Jones for Brandon Cooks was a decent, fair trade. I just didn't understand why he gave me the other 2 guys. And he wanted Singletary for Buffalo, and he didn't do a goddamn thing for me.
Yeah, he's not having that great of a season. So a do for me would be take multiple running backs right off the bat. Me and Matt, I think, are going to learn the hard way as the season unfolds.
Yeah.
You didn't get those early studs. And even if you did, look at McCaffrey and Saquon. Puts those teams that picked first and second in quite the hole. Did you make do you have any other advice for people out there of anything that you wish you could go back and redo or things that you wish you did better?
Honestly, no, because I was going to say in my auction league, this is my big league, the bulk of my budget went to getting Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. And so I've lost 4 games in a row now since Saquon and McCaffrey got hurt. But I still don't regret the decision because I drafted the 2 of them. I also picked up Josh Allen and Kyler Murray as my quarterbacks, and they've been keeping me afloat. And I drafted both the handcuffs for Barkley and for McCaffrey. So if the Barkley handcuff, which I drafted was Lewis, had worked out, I actually wouldn't be in that bad of a situation. I've lost 3 games by a combined total of 12 points. Ooh, so I would have been at least, So I'm like, if I have an RB2, I can kind of edge by, like I can live, which is why I'm half considering this trade. But it's giving up Robert Woods for Henry Ruggs. It makes me nervous.
Robert Woods for Henry Ruggs?
So it would be I trade the Finns dude, Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think I said his name right. Mike Gesicki. I don't know why I said Henry. Mike Gesicki and Robert Woods for Henry Ruggs and I can't think today. Melvin Gordon.
Is Melvin Gordon going to face a suspension for his?
Well, apparently it's not going to happen until at least 4 weeks from now. It'd be way down the line.
Christian McCaffrey is hopefully back.
Right. But I still have Mike Davis as my RB1 technically right now.
Oh, okay. You're in a good spot.
Yeah, so it's like I just need that RB2, but it's like Woods is so consistent. It's like every week I can just trust his value. He's right there.
Yeah.
So that's it.
One of the dues for me, one of my strategies going into this was I was just going to pound 3 rounds, like 3 to 7 with wide receivers, because there's a lot of good wide receivers.
So many, rounds. Yeah.
I mean, I got Tyler Lockett. My other leagues, I have Lockett. I got Ridley, who's having an outstanding season. AJ Brown was in the 3rd round. He just came back from injury, having a good season. So pounding the wide receiver in those rounds, there's quality guys that you're going to get.
And I think Ridley's the number 1 receiver in fantasy right now. And I think you're right. He went in no earlier than the 3rd round. So it's not a bad deal.
No, especially when you can secure 2 top running backs in the 1st round. I think Superflex definitely throws a wrench into things, because people, obviously quarterbacks are now a priority, a major priority, where, if one guy goes down, and we've had multiple quarterback changes this season and, multiple injuries, that can just throw a whole team off. Now, the lower tier quarterbacks, if you have a good flex player, someone that's going to hit big in a week, you could temporarily replace them. But
agreed,
it's tough. The quarterbacks really guarantee you points in those spots, and trying to be that on that waiver wire, trying to pick them up.
And you're just hoping all the time on the waiver wire. Like that's where hope goes to die sometimes.
What did you have? Did you start with Tua, or did you pick him up throughout the season?
I drafted him for like $1 at the end of my draft, because I had to wait after all. Yeah. Yep.
And now it's probably going to pay dividends for you if you can.
Let's hope.
If you can flip it.
Let's hope.
Who are your other quarterbacks in the league? Besides Murray and Josh Allen, do you have somebody else or not?
I have Andy Dalton too, who I spent the last of my waiver budget on, thinking there's no way he fucks this up, and then he fucked it up. So now I've got to say, that's why I said he's the second hardest to fuck me. The first was Carlos Hyde, because I need an RB2, and I spent the last of my money on him because I missed out on Darrell Henderson the week before, and then he's fucking out inexplicably, and Chris Carson's back in right away. I was like, well, fuck me. There's apparently nothing I could do.
Yeah. The budget thing is tough, because you really have to plan out your moves there,
Yeah, it gets a little tough.
You do a lot more analysis because it's not free. You actually have to spend some money, and it can, if there's someone that's keeping a couple dollars here or there, they can pick up that late person down.
You got to kind of hope for the best. That actually just fucked me up. That there was a disturbance on Cam's video that for some reason I thought was behind me, and I just freaked out who's in my room. Just because I was so just committed to that.
Wait, Steph walked in behind me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is October. It is almost Halloween. It could have been something else. Cameron's a big ghost believer. Do you believe in ghosts, Matt?
I do believe in ghosts, and I don't fuck with them. I don't think it's fair that they can touch us and we can't touch them. Gotta keep it real on that.
I'll always remember we always try to do the Ouija board at Cameron's old house.
Fuck that. Nope.
You could just not allow that shit.
Dude, when I was in New Orleans, my friend and I met these girls who were trying to get us to go. Wait, what?
You met ghosts?
No. Oh my God. No, although maybe actually, because they were trying to get us to go to some haunted graveyard, and I was like, hard pass. My friend's like, no, come on, it'll be fun. I'm like, no, hard pass. Look, let's think about it. We're in New Orleans, the city of voodoo. I'm not fucking with any of that. This is how horror movies start. It's Halloween. The Giants are going to be on tomorrow. I'm not messing with this. I'm just not doing it. I'm out. And we, at one point, they were like, oh, well, come with us to these bars. And their mom met up with us. It was kind of weird. They were best friends, but the one girl's mom was there. And I was like, all right, forget it. I'm going to go to the bathroom. And my friends like, oh, I got to go too. And we came back down and they were gone. So they were either ghosts or evil bitches. Either way, glad I'm out.
And you were able to attend the Giants game.
Yes, which was the 3rd highest scoring game in NFL history. So not mad about it.
So we're an anti-ghost podcast, all believers.
I wouldn't say anti-ghost.
Oh, okay.
I would say anti-ghost.
We don't want to piss the ghosts off.
Exactly. We're not anti-ghost. We're just steadily cautious. We're not fucking with ghosts.
Oh.
I mean, my sleep paralysis even coming after me.
All right. Before we get into our New York Giants, let's get a word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
Fuck this.
And we are back. The New York Football Giants. This is an overloaded Dimes a Dozen segment where we're going to talk about our latest W. And
our only W, if we're being fully honest here.
And our 2 correct predictions, which I said we hadn't had a prediction right. We actually did predict the Giants were going to lose to the Dallas Cowboys in that first game, which, we let a lot of games slip away from us recently.
Yeah, it's well, you know what? We also didn't account for any major offensive players getting injured.
That is true.
I
don't know what it is, but like it seems since Saquon left, and I don't know if it's just the offensive line is like meshing, picking up the pace, like actually getting the play together. It seems like our run game has actually improved.
I agree with that. I agree completely. I think they kind of finally got their shit together and they're like, okay, like we know what's up. Like we can do this, And I think they played part for a little bit at left tackle. Left tackle, yeah. Which actually looked like it was a pretty good move. So I'm not opposed to any of what they've done so far as the offensive line goes, as long as they continue to gel and get better. Like I like the idea of trying somebody else at the spot instead of leaving Thomas in there when he's struggling. When he played right tackle his last 4 years. So
well, and I think we'll talk about Joe Judge at the end, but I think this is a indictment on Joe Judge where it's showing what his style is going to be. Like apparently Andrew Thomas was late to a meeting or practice.
Yeah.
And so I think they benched him or they did something. There was some disciplinary action with him, but a thing about it was, you're right, he was struggling in that game and they put Pert in there and Pert started just crushing guys out there. He did really well.
I know he graded out way better for pass block than run block, but yeah, he was apparently way more effective overall.
Yeah, and luckily for Andrew Thomas, it's still obviously super early in his career. Maybe he isn't our left tackle of the future. Maybe we could have Pert at left tackle and him at right tackle.
Yeah, which I'd be fine with.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too. I'm a failed draft pick, but Pert did look better. I think Andrew Thomas is grading out really bad for his first X amount of games.
For a guy who's supposed to be the safest pick, it's a little disconcerting.
It's a little disconcerting, but obviously, he is a rookie. This line is pretty new as far as, chemistry goes. There's not guys that have been playing together that long. So, we'll give him a break here. And hopefully he can get things rolling. Hopefully he learns from his, mistakes. Don't fuck with Joe Judge. He's gonna put you on the bench.
It'll be Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Wow, that was awful. That was so bad. That was terrible.
Title of the episode.
Judgment Day. The New York Football Giants get their first win.
Let's go back and relive the Dallas game. Not so much the game, but just the setup we had. We're having some drinks.
We had a great setup. Yeah, we had a wonderful host for that game. Yeah.
I did have to invite some Dallas fans, unfortunately. We were all respectful towards each other, though. It didn't get crazy.
I agree. And none of us were excited to see Dak get hurt. It's not like anybody was saying that was pretty brutal to watch. Yeah. Very upsetting.
After having an injury myself, and then you have to know like what that person has to go through.
Yeah.
And he's a professional athlete. He's going to bounce back and have better care and better doctors and better anything that any normal person would have. But, that is a brutal injury for them. That obviously, as you saw this week, is probably going to derail their season.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, and Andy Dalton, you would think would be able to step up. Like, you've got more weapons than you've ever had, but no. Instead, he's like, you know what I could do is fuck the Golden Voice in the ass and throw this game away. At least just throw to Michael Gallup, who I also have on fantasy. Like, at least, like, come on.
Yeah,
I have fucking guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I mean, their offensive line is beat up. They're reminding me of like Giants teams in the past. Just,
with Eli, yeah.
They lose key players in key spots, and they're not going to be able to protect anybody. Luckily for all of these teams in the NFC East, we're in that division where it's an open field. I don't know.
Let me ask you this question though. If you have the choice, because I don't think any single team in the NFC East deserves to finish outside the top 10. Like, we should all have top 10 draft picks because we're all shit. So whoever wins obviously will have a probably bottom 20-ish pick. Would you want the Giants to make the playoffs if there's even let's be generous, say there's a 50% chance they can make a run?
Right.
Would you want the Giants to make the playoffs or just take that top 10 draft pick and continue the rebuild?
Man, that's actually a really tough question, because I look at it two ways. The way the Giants are drafting right now, I don't think any of their draft picks are guaranteed. And I do see other teams finding talent later in the draft. If being 6-10, winning the division, and being able to play, like, put those guys in a playoff game where we get more playing time as a team together, it's a learning experience. The Giants have one of two of the youngest teams in the league, and they can really build on that for next season. Then I would take that, I think, over the top 10 draft pick right now. It's tough to say, though, because look at Dallas. They have had a competitive offense for how many years now, and they haven't done anything with it. So it's like, you can try to build by making the playoffs every year, but teams like Dallas, who continually make the playoffs and they don't do anything with it, it's tough to say that's a benefit to them. I think because our team is so young that our guys could benefit greatly just from having a successful season.
Yeah.
Especially like, Daniel Jones, the guys on the offensive line, a lot of the defensive players we have, the young defensive players we have on the defensive line. I think those guys are going to be like the foundation for what we have for years to come, hopefully. So I'd probably take the better finish and the division win. I mean, just for bragging rights between fans and our friends. I think that's the thing. And people are going to be like, well, you were 6-10 or, whatever people are saying right now.
Which, could you imagine we might be like the fourth team ever to win a division with a losing record? Like,
yeah.
And that's even if it is fourth. I think the last team to do it was the Seahawks with Marshawn Lynch, when he just bullied the entire Saints defense.
Look, I mean, the Giants build winning teams off these teams that struggle to get in and get hot at the right time.
Yeah, that is true.
We've looked at you don't need to win every game to win the Super Bowl. Until
you only need to win 4.
yeah, that's it. You get hot, and that's it. I mean, maybe by that time our offensive line will be, pretty solid. Like they seem to get better every game. It's tough to say. The offense still doesn't look that great. We've scored.
No, they haven't found. Touchdowns. Yeah, thank God. Which that ended the longest touchdown drought in Giants history, which is absolutely crazy. Which, excuse me, having this conversation with a few friends the other day, and we were saying like, okay, like if the Giants get the first pick, do you take Trevor Lawrence? And I'm like, I like Daniel Jones, I do, but like that's pretty bad. That you're the longest passing touchdown drought in Giants history is entirely on you. It's not like you were without weapons this whole time. Right. So that's not good.
Yeah, and I think it really goes to this. And I was thinking I was going to text you this during the game, but I didn't want to jinx it. I was like, I was waiting for the turnover against the Washington football team. I was just waiting for him to turn the ball over. I was like, it's going to happen. And it looks like he knows, like he's thinking about it too much too.
Yeah, it's like a pitcher with a no-no.
Right. Last year he was just throwing the ball wherever and playing great. This year it feels like he's nervous to turn the ball over. I mean, he's due.
Could be a coaching thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's due for that one turnover a game at this point. The Dallas game, he fumbles. He gives up a touchdown on the fumble. That was a game changer. I mean, let's go back to I got the game summary here. The Giants after the first quarter are up 14-3. And then they start kind of just falling apart there.
Yeah.
You know,
started high and the wheels fell off.
By halftime, Dallas is winning 24-20. So and the same thing in the Washington game. Like, we came out hot. We looked great. At first quarter, it's 10-0. You know, we make them turn the ball over, we pick them off, and we just don't capitalize on a lot of the drives. You know, it's to the point where like every game has come down to like one play. You know, between the Dallas game, you know, the one play in the Pittsburgh game where he throws the pick, you know, the Chicago game where he throws the pick at the end. It's coming down to these turnovers, and we're just not making
in the red zone. Yeah, where it's like he's got great opportunities and just that one bad decision.
So, I mean, who is that more on? Is this on the coach, Daniel Jones? Is this on Dave Gettleman for picking Daniel Jones? I mean, it's tough to say.
I think a lot of the state of the team, right? Sorry, I'm on a exercise ball, so I keep bouncing. I think a lot of this is on Gettleman. Like, Gettleman's decisions have been overall not great. I still heavily disagree with the Odell trade for multiple reasons, the foremost of which is that we didn't get adequate compensation. But when you're looking at this current situation with Jones and his turnovers, I think it's more on Jones than it is on the coaching staff. But I do think what you said is accurate, wherein he's thinking about it too much, and then he's trying to do too much. Saquon's hurt. He's putting too much on his shoulders, and he's overthinking these decisions before he makes them. So I think part of that's because the coaching staff is like, you need to stop turning the ball over, rightfully so. And the other part is that, you know, he's just in his own head.
Right.
You know, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I mean, we talked about Washington football team's defense, that defensive line, and I thought the Giants actually did a good job.
They did. No, honestly, they really did. They didn't do terrible, and I was expecting awful things out of that.
I think I texted you at the end of the game. I was like, yes. Oh, no, fuck. Yes. Yeah. You're like, what happened? I just took the dog out. It was just like, they score, they take the lead, they give the ball, they get the ball right back, and, you know, Washington drives right down the field, scores a touchdown, and, you know, I can't blame Ron Rivera for going for two. What would you have done in that situation? They had the momentum. I think I would have tied the game up and seen what happened in overtime. Yeah,
I mean, it would have been dangerous, I think, for us in overtime because we were hanging on by a thread. They actually probably – I mean, I see – it's like you said, I don't blame him either because by his logic, like, they could have won right there. That could have been, you know, the final shot that really just killed the Giants. But, you know, he didn't want to go into overtime. So he probably could have beat us in the next round. I doubt we would have, unless Slayton has a breakaway touchdown, I doubt we would have scored fast enough to really have made that a true battle.
Yeah, I mean, after that first quarter, we weren't doing any. We didn't score again. Our defense scored. Like, our offense didn't do anything. So
yeah,
I don't know what it is either because it seems like we're moving the ball somewhat. Like,
it's just in the red zone. We can't complete in the red zone.
Yeah, so we get down to the red zone, and, you know, it's the Graham Gano show, which is fine. Like, there's times when, you know, field goals are good, but it's going to catch up to you if you have to keep kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns, especially against better teams. Like, Washington's one thing, and we're going to see them again in, I think, 3 weeks. Play them again.
I think the Eagles are going to give us a real problem on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are banged up. They have a lot of injuries as well. I believe Zach Ertz is out now. Their offensive line is not doing well. Our defense can hold us in games.
No, they definitely can. And I think this is going to be a good chance for them to kind of pin their ears back and go after Wentz because he's gotten, you know, bent over pretty much all season. He's been pretty messed up. So we'll kind of see what can happen here. What?
like the Invisible Man.
Oh my God. If you guys
Yo
didn't
What Up
watch
Comics.
Yo What Up Comics yet, something terrible happens to the Invisible Man. Like something just truly remarkably awful. Real bad. But yeah.
Hopefully, so hopefully you don't end up like the Invisible Man, because Philly does have a good defense.
Yep.
They got after the Baltimore Ravens last week. They battled their way back. I think came down to a 2-point conversion, which they did not complete to tie the game. It makes me a little nervous because Philadelphia also, they tied the Bengals in overtime, a winnable game.
Yep.
I can't get a good gauge on where they're at. They are 1-4. It is a division game. They did lose to the Washington football team. They lost to the Rams, worse than we lost to the Rams. But they did beat the 49ers. They did lose to the Steelers. They lose to the Ravens.
And there's something to be said for that divisional matchup, where you get that push.
Right. They do have 141 points scored for them.
We have 80?
Do you know what the Giants have?
I'm gonna guess 78, 80.
We have 101.
Okay.
Which is the
Not
lowest
great.
in the division.
Probably the lowest in the league, to be honest. But
however, we have the best points against, which is 152. So our defense has shown up, and I think I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our defensive coordinator. I don't know if it's up and coming players. I don't know if it's Bradbury and Ryan.
I think it's all the above. Yeah, these guys have been killing it for us. I think the defensive coordinator is big.
The problem is we can't just keep putting it on the Giants' defensive shoulders.
Yeah.
To win these games for us, our offense is going to have to score more than a touchdown a game.
Agreed. And
we're not going to beat Philadelphia. The Giants have to score more than 2 touchdowns.
What do you think of the possible trade rumors? I've heard some things that Atlanta's looking to move Matt Ryan and Julio Jones prior to the trade deadline. If that happens, would you like to see the Giants make a move for Jones, even though he's still a prime player, but he's older? It wouldn't be a long-term thing. It's not like we're one piece away from winning, but it could help us this season.
Let me look at. I want to look at
his contract.
Not his contract. I'm looking at our receivers right now. Right, like Darius Slayton is 6'1". Golden Tate is what?
5'10".
5'10". Evan Ingram. He's 6'4" and athletic, but he's in a different role. We don't have anyone like a Julio Jones on our team to throw the ball down to. Like Evan Ingram's running across the field. He's running out routes. We don't have that downfield threat that can go up and catch the ball and compete. Darius Slayton, yes, he can get down the field. Golden Tate can get down the field, but we don't have that bigger receiver. In previous years, like a Plaxico, even an Odell could go up and get the ball downfield.
Which we shouldn't have fucking traded him.
Yeah. Fuck you, Gettleman.
Fucking DG.
So we are on Gettleman watch right now. The Giants technically they could be 4-2 right now, and would we even be talking about Dave Gettleman? Would we be like Dave Gettleman?
It depends on if it was. It would depend on how that 4-2 looked. Like if we won 4 games, but all the other 3 wins look like this one win we have. Yeah, I still think he should be on the hot seat because it's been sloppy, and I can't put that on Judge because he's barely gotten to implement anything. Like this entire team and the lack of depth and the poor moves and the exorbitant number of defensive tackles is entirely on Dave Gettleman's shoulders.
Yes. And I really like Joe Judge. I think all of Giants Nation loves Joe Judge.
Yeah.
You change the general manager. You change that general manager. I would put let Joe Judge go in and impress this guy himself. He's going to do it. Whether he wants to keep him or not, you leave it up to Joe Judge to impress the new general manager in those meetings. And I think, he's going to keep him just based on his experience that he's had at, New England and Alabama with those top coaches, and just how he carries himself, just the way he talks, the way he, conducts his practices. These guys, like the Giants, they're
responding.
Yeah, they could roll over and give up. Like this season could be over, but these guys are playing hard out there. you look at the Dallas Cowboys, who an article came out today about.
Oof, yeah.
Where their players are just trashing the coaching staff, and if you watched that game last night, those guys just gave up. Like, they were done.
The defense was gassed. They weren't trying anymore. Like, it was bad.
And you don't see that from the Giants, and that's a huge positive. And that makes me think, like, even with Jason Garrett, like, he was in Dallas for a while, and I always questioned why he was there because he wasn't really doing anything. But the players obviously like to play for him, and he got a lot out of him.
I wish he would do that here.
So, hey, it's a young season.
Yeah,
we could turn around and 6-10 and win this division right now and have a top 20 draft pick.
Yeah. Crazy.
Do you have any predictions for the rest of the season for us? What do you want to see? Do you think we can win the division? Where are you at?
Do I think we could? Yes. Do I think we will? No. I mean, I think anything's possible. You could really see Jones, turn a corner, take that next step forward and really start to dominate. But I just don't know that he will with the weapons we have, unless we make a couple trades. If we make some trades and the trades are super beneficial to the team, then I might be singing a different tune, because I think a lot of this lies on the offensive line. Following that, it's the fact that we don't have a true number one receiver. So you've got to look again at the Odell trade and be like, why the hell did we do this? Because I think actually this is going to sound outlandish, but I think having Odell, Barkley doesn't get hurt. Because I don't think there's not as much pressure on his shoulders to try as hard. I think when he probably should have gone out of bounds or gone down, he was trying to push forward, with his leg, and that's probably why he tore some of it. I know it's a little bit of an outlandish statement to make, but I think one does support the other. There's pressure pulled off. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. I was looking up the NFL put out, or this is CBS Sports, put out major blockbuster trades that could go down. So we have till week 8. The Tuesday after week 8 is the trade deadline. In their list, the Giants are not listed in any of them, but, Yeah,
we're not close enough for that to be the issue. So I kind of get it. Like, why give up draft capital?
Right. We're not going to give up draft capital to improve our team this season.
Unless we trade away Evan Engram, which I'd be all about.
I mean, it is possible. I mean, if the Giants end up losing. Here's the thing I don't want to see is Dave Gettleman be able to make those decisions in a desperation situation to improve his own. But like, if he needs to get fired prior to the trade deadline.
Agreed. 100%.
Especially if we lose this next game. And then I think we follow it up with, let's see, we got the Bucks week 8 on Monday night. So we have the Thursday, Monday night. Okay. So we have Thursday night this week. Then we have Monday night the next week. So we got a little break there. And then after that Bucks game, that Tuesday, that's a trade deadline. I think that Tuesday, if Dave Gettleman is still there, I think he's here for this rest of the season.
Which is bullshit, because he's supposed to have a short lead. Off the bat, which he clearly doesn't. Sorry, could you guys not hear me?
Your microphone kicked out.
Did it stop out? I don't remember where we were, but we had minor technical difficulties on my end. So apologies to all our fans.
Talking shit about Dave Gettleman, and he fucking hacked Matt's computer.
Fucking yeah, that's the one computer he could figure out how to use. Was how to hack mine.
All right. Where do you really see us going the rest of the season? I know we're talking shit about Dave Gettleman, and we need to get him fired by week 8, but the division is winnable. If we lost by 3 to the Cowboys, we beat the football team once.
Yeah.
We have the Eagles, obviously, 2 more times, and then we're going to get our another matchup with Washington in a couple of weeks, and then you're looking at Dallas at the end of the season. I mean, who knows? Their team is pretty shot. Who knows what they're going to look like week 17?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we'd be lucky to get 4 to 6 wins, to be 100% honest with you. That's without looking directly at our team and, our matchups. I'm seeing 4 to 6 at this point, which really sucks to say, because I was a big proponent of us doing 9 and 7. But I think this team has not looked good enough for me to be super confident in their future. While some of the wins have been close, they've been ugly. And I think that would be the major determining factor. We get a couple pretty losses, for lack of a better word, in there, and I feel better about it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're looking the Bengals. That's a winnable game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because like if you asked us when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago and we talked about the Browns week 15, we're like definitely a loss, 100%.
Yeah.
They just got destroyed, pulled their quarterback.
I mean, I just think Odell Beckham's going to go off in that game. Like if I'm going to put money on any play, if I'm going to put money on a player in a game, it's that one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and obviously the Cowboys season has changed. Injuries have been happening all year. Things can happen. Things can change. I guess us as Giants fans, we just have to hope and pray that the offensive line keeps getting better. Dan, Turnover Jones right now can cut back on that and maybe if we can get a turnover-free game. I think that'll give him a lot of confidence to let.
Yeah, I think that'll give the fans a lot of confidence too. Be like, all right, maybe he doesn't suck. It's one of those things that he needs to do to really prove to us that he is who we thought he was.
Look, I think this is looking at this in a positive light. You brought up the question before: would you rather have this pick or win the division? I think it's a win-win season for the Giants. After all that we've been through the first couple of weeks, seeing how this team was built and we're not ready to play yet, that we can either improve each game and get better and end up with a top pick. We can improve each game and get better, possibly win a division and still have one of the lower picks for a playoff team. So who knows? I mean, I would love to watch some Giants football. I wouldn't want it to compromise the future of the franchise based on we're standing at pick number 3 right now. Looks like the Jets are going to have at this rate that number 1 spot. I don't see that.
They need to get rid of Adam Gase so badly. Yeah. It's just insane to me that he's been allowed to continue ruining that team when he clearly has no clue what he's doing. Just a wasted contract on Le'Veon Bell, and he's running Frank Gore out there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see them I think they made a trade. I think they just traded like one of their veteran defensive linemen. I think they're going to let him, continue to coach the rest of the season. And it doesn't matter what he does. He's gone no matter what. So yeah, they're not going to hire this brand new coach right now. So I think they don't really care. I mean, they're going to let these, not just Adam Gase, but I guess his assistant coaches show their coaching prowess. If they can, run a good, running back unit or offensive line unit, maybe they can get a job down the road. But I think Adam Gase is done for them. I mean,
I think he's got to go.
It's not looking good for the Jets. Not looking as bad for the Giants, but we're hanging in there. Thursday Night Football. We got the Philadelphia Eagles, the first meeting of both teams, where hopefully our New York Football Giants
can finally beat them. Yeah,
finally beat them. Get that much needed W to probably vault us into number 1 in the division.
Wow, it really would. Yeah.
So, Matt, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us if they'd like to watch or listen, or even leave us a nice review?
You can find us on Instagram at Why Am I a Nerd? That's WHYAM, the letter I, A, Nerd Official. You can find us on YouTube at Why Am I a Nerd? And we are on all of your favorite podcasts and listening networks. That's 4th and 1 Pod on Twitter. That's the number 4 THANDWON Pod on Twitter. And we're also, that's how you can find us. You look us up, 4th and 1 Pod, or I'm sorry, 4th and 1 spelled the same way, to find us on any podcast network, whatever you want to use. We're there. That's how you find us. Spotify, whatever. Come look for us.
You can still find us at before we go, shout out to Coastal Carolina. First win over a ranked team in history.
Good for you guys. And wow, in history?
In history, and we are ranked. That's awesome. Ranked for the first time in our school's history ever.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Shout out to Apple Cider. Shout out to Hot Chips. Shout out to Red Tank Brewing. Shout out to all those other whoever else we talked about this episode. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching and listening. I'm Sean.
And I'm Matt.
We'll catch you next time.
The New York Football Giants.